welcome. This is Ruth and I'm back with a second video on the Enchanted Fairy Village die set from Tonic, and this is one of their March Madness 2024 launches. So I had already made two beautiful fairy houses with this, the little Maisie one and the little Titania, I think it was, tulip house. They're really cute. Those dies make something really beautiful. But throughout that whole video I was kind of hoping that I would have time to make something else at the end of it just to show you an extra use, but I really needed to post those samples off, so I had to stop. And then once I got them posted I thought, oh, I actually am going to have time. I'm going to have to go back and make something else just to show people another way of using this die set. So I hope you do enjoy this one as well. In fact, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, I'd really love you to do that and hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss any extra videos that come up as I'm making them. That would really help my channel, as would if you give me a little thumbs up and leave me a little comment as well. That really would help me out. And my affiliate links for everything will be down below in the description as well. But anyway, back to the die set. 85 dies, as I said before, and I had made the two little houses. This time I'm going to make a little 3D box kind of thing with a card, and I just started off because I had seen two beautiful little die sets that I had in my collection. I'll show you them here. We've got the Wishing You Love frame maker and the Make Every Moment Count frame maker. And I'm just going to show you, this is the square one, and you'll maybe remember seeing me make this a while ago. So I'm not going to make it again. I've already made it and I'll link that video down below. But then there's the rectangular one, that's this one. And this made this beautiful little box and a 3D card in there as well, and that's in the same video as the other one if you want to check it out. I thought these would be really lovely if we used them along with our little fairy houses. I also needed a couple of clouds. You might have those in some of other of your die sets, but I just lifted out this little cloud here and this bigger one from this die set, which is the Wonderful Windows Alpine View die set. So you might have something else that you can use for that. Anyway, let's just get on to this and see what we've done. I've already gone ahead and made the little square box up, and as I said, you'll see that, and also how to add the little magnets. I've one in here and one in here, and then I have just put blue card, that's Arctic blue, and this is Sea Salt green. Now there is a little frame that you can make up to put on here in that die set, but I actually just used two square dies together and made myself two little frames here. And then I have gone back to this die set here, and I have taken this die and the lovely sort of embossing plate that comes with it and cut that out in espresso brown, and I've put 3D foam pads on it. I also cut it down to size because I want it just to fit in there and I didn't want it any bigger. I've just taken most of these little backing pieces off. I did want it just to sit out a little from the back of the card there, and I'm not going to put the little clouds on until I get this on, and then I'll be able to see exactly where I need them, and if necessary I can slip some of them just in behind there as well. Anyway, isn't this really beautiful? Now obviously I'm not going to cut apertures or anything in it this time. I'm just going to pop that down sort of centrally there and have it coming up to the top just like that. Then I have made the little step. You really don't need it here at all, but I wanted the door to sit up slightly from the bottom so that it wasn't sort of lost in behind there, and we'll put some on, where are we? Yeah, in there. And that is really just to hold the door up a little from the bottom. Now, I have taken the dies that you put up at the top for the little roof on the other one. I have used this one and then the little, let's see where it is, that one, along with it, and I've cut that out and layered one on top of the other, and then just nipped off this bit, and I've put 3D foam pads just along the bottom there, and I'm actually going to glue the top of this so that it sits back in and then comes out just at the base there. So pop that up in there to the top and sort of centralize it over your little mushroom. Anyway, there we are. Press it down in there and then it'll pop up here, and you'll be able to see that better at the end when I take better photographs of it. Anyway, now we're going to go on to make the little door. So I have used the little rounded door dies, which are these two, and I have cut them out in beautiful pearlescent card, and I have also cut out a little circle to go in behind that. I've cut a little piece of red to go in behind the heart so that the heart isn't sort of going straight through to this. And then I cut a little silver circle. I just need to find where I put it. There it is. And I'm going to glue that on just behind the little door there. Now I don't want to put too much glue on this because I really don't want it going over that silver at all, and then that being visible from the other side. So there we are, and there it is. And I'm going to glue that right on there just above the little step, just so that it kind of rests on the step. I've used both of those little dies together with some ivory card, and I've used the back one with some vellum, and in between both of those I've actually just cut this out twice in red and popped it in, and I'm going to cut that right up the center and cut it in half. And now I'm going to put one half on here and the other half on here. Now whenever you get these pieces on, you'll realise then that it actually needs another one of these added on. So I've cut another one the same as the top. I've cut it in half, but I'm actually going to swap the sides around so that one's going on here, and that can just go over the top of that and pop out there. It can just come over as much as you want it to, but I'm just popping it on like that. And it's really just to give it a little bit of extra sitting out at the side so that it doesn't look too sort of straight up and down with it and looking unfinished. I'm actually going to move that little foam pad over it a little bit just so that you don't see it, and then add some glue on at the top. And there we are, it'll look much better now. So I'm now going to add a little house over on this side, and I've taken these two dies and I've cut them out together in espresso brown, and I have glued two of those onto a piece of card, cut the card around it and added some 3D foam pads. You could obviously just use this behind them, but I just thought, well, one piece of card would keep it all together. So I'm going to pop that down in there. And again, I'm going to put a little step on, and I'm going to put a little roof on up here as well. I cut those two little dies from red card and backed silver onto it, and then glued that in on top there. To make the roof then, I have cut this out twice. It's actually just the bottom half of it in ivory card, and then both of these together with the pink and glued that on top. And I've actually just cut it at a little angle, so if you fold them over back to back like that and just cut a little angle at it there, you can angle the roof. And I have folded just a little piece. I need to add a little bit more glue on there, but I folded just a little piece back, and it's really only about ½ centimetre back like that on each side, and those are going to be the pieces that go out at the edge, and the flat edge then will overlap. So I've got 3D foam pads on in here again just to keep the bottom of it out, to give a little bit of dimension. I'll fold that over there. I'll put some glue on here, and I'll do exactly the same thing with this one. Take the little tabs off and fold that over and put glue across here. Then whenever I pop this in here, what I'm aiming for is to get the two flat edges just overlapping slightly, and these two long points going up to the top. So just about there, and so that's the kind of look you're aiming for. I've cut a little arched window this time, and I'm just going to follow that around. I've glued it on top of some vellum, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing as I did on the other side there. Cut that around, and there we are. And then I'm going to cut it down the centre. So one half can go on here and the other half can go on there. And then when I get all that done, I'm going to add lots and lots of these foliage pieces and little flowers and all sorts of things on. The foliage is all caught up there, but I've got lots and lots of this all ready to decorate it. But before I do that, I must remember to put my little clouds in, and they can just pop in behind there. I'll put this little window on. I want to add the two little mushrooms down at the bottom here, and the stalks of them are quite long, so I've actually cut out this top part in red, so that's these two pieces together, and then this one in white, and I've added the little stalks. The long one is pushed up quite high, and the other one is pulled down really as long as it can go to make them fairly even there. But just to make sure that it's really well gripped on, I've stuck a little piece of card across the back as well, and I want to glue that on there. Just about there, so that's why it really needed reinforced. So I can put glue down this side of this one and then just on the base of that one. And then I can just go ahead and add on all these little bits and all the little flowers, and oh, this is the fun bit. I've added the little strips on all the way around the outside there, and then you can see whenever you open this up, I've gone ahead and decorated everything up. So I put lots of the scrolly pieces on here and some inside, and little flowers and a butterfly, and then these little mushrooms on both sides there. Isn't that really, really cute? Do you like that? If you like that, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up too. And then on the front, I have taken just the little square that came out of here, and I popped it on there with one of the little scrolly dies at the top, the little flowers, the butterfly and the little mushroom. And I actually lifted this die set out because I wanted to put the happy birthday to you in the centre. I'm not really a make-a-wishy kind of person, but I just thought that the Make-A-Wish die set there in the centre of it, the two dies that make up that little set, just really, really suited this with the fairies. So there you are. I've cut it out in ivory for the background, and the flourishing green, I think that is, on the top. And I'm just popping it up on 3D foam pads there on top of that. And that's that little one finished. I'd be very happy if somebody sent me that, would you? Well, it was getting kind of late last night whenever I was working at this, and I thought I had it finished, but I just came back this morning and added some extra little pieces on because I thought this was a little bit bare looking, and a couple of little more flowers on there, and I think that looks much better now because it's kind of like lots going on the inside, and I didn't want it too bare looking on the outside. Now, I also have made, I actually made this before I went to bed last night, with the bigger set of the frame makers. So Wishing You Love, that's the rectangular one, and I took the bigger die there and I cut out enough to make a box, and then I made a little lid for it as well with acetate. So that means that I can go ahead and make a little card with some layers on it because I've got this depth here. So I have made a little top fold card to fit inside there, and there they are. So all the measurements, everything belonging to everything to do with this set is in that other video, which I will link down below. I've put some coral card on top of that, and then I've taken the dies that were on the inside of that as well, and I've cut out the coral pink in the plain one, and then I have put the two dies together and made this beautiful pattern here, and that's just going to go on top there, popped up because, as you know, then we can fit the dimension into that. So now I've used these two dies on some ivory card and just cut that off. I'll probably trim another little bit off the bottom of it there, but I want to add a little bit of definition because obviously that then is going to sit on here, and I just would like it not to be so sort of creamy on top. So I've got some soft suede ink here, and I'm taking very, very little and just dabbing some off, and I just want to give a little bit of definition around the edges and over the top there. Very, very little, but just enough to make that look slightly different from what's underneath it there. I've cut it down to 6 centimeters in height, and I'm just going to glue it directly on, so no dimension on this bit because I'm actually going to put dimension on the little top part of it, and I'm bringing it actually down over here as well. So just center that up like so, and there you have it, over a little bit. Now I have taken the two little dies that cut out the roof part, and I have cut them both together. I'll just see where they are here. I've used this one and this one together in some of the pearlescent card, and I've cut all the tabs off, the two sides and the bottom, but I've left the little tab up at the top there, and you can see I've put 3D foam pads along the bottom, just little ones, and I'm going to glue this up at the top here so that it just, this little tab sits just about there, and then whenever I bring this down, that just sits up with a lovely little bit of dimension. And you can probably see it better in real life, but that's my little mushroom then, and I can go ahead and decorate the rest of the card now. I absolutely love that. I've just put the little roof on, and then I put the little door and then the heart to match it. That's actually just a piece of card slipped in behind, as I did on the other one. Two little mushrooms which I snipped apart and just rounded off and attached on 3D foam pads, and a tiny little butterfly up here. Top fold card, and it looks lovely. And really, see, I'm not even going to add decoration around the outside of that because I think that would just well, it would just take away from it. It would be just too much. This is really beautiful. It looks so gorgeous in that little card with the acetate, in the little box, sorry, with the acetate. So there you are. That definitely, I'm finished this time. You never know, in the future sometime I might come back and make something else, but for now that's me finished with the Enchanted Fairy Village die set, and I hope you really, really enjoyed that. Don't forget, give it a big thumbs up if you have, leave me a little comment, let me know some other ideas that you've had, and maybe, just maybe, if I ever get time again, I'll try those too. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, to do that too and hit the notification bell, and my affiliate links for everything will be down below in the description of the video. And there'll be lots and lots of photos at the end of this video. I've started to do that lately, and I hope you enjoy that too. So thank you very, very much for watching, and in the meantime, happy crafting. Bye bye.